Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Disclaimer, we will be talking about suicide, so I would recommend stepping off if this is not for you, if it's a touchy subject. So also I'm gonna apologize early on because I feel like I might sound a little blunt in this video. It's only because I have my own personal views over suicide. We all do. It's my personal opinion. So if I sound a little blunt, just don't take it too serious. It's just that this is what I believe, and a lot of stuff in it, like, it's only because the case we're talking about, the case of suicide has turned into murder from two different parties, and it's really touchy because I don't understand it. Like I said, you have somebody taking their life and like just, like disregarding it without a care in the world. The way I see stuff, life is really precious. And I know a lot of people go through stuff. I also hear it's like antidepressants involved in this, and medicine, that can really mess up your brain, mess up like anything. And you never know what can happen. It's really scary when you're on medicine. You never know what can happen. But I heard that it was like involved in this one, but I don't think they mentioned it. I just heard that it was involved. So we have a botched suicide. Why did I say botched? Because one friend died and one friend didn't. It sounds so dark when I put it that way, but listen to me. We have one friend who was in charge of shooting the other friend, and when she did it, she didn't kill herself. Now, do not do this. Don't commit suicide. It's just so sad talking about it. Life is so precious. A lot of people don't see that. And like I said, it's sad that, people don't see it. But there had to be so much more involved in this, because I just can't imagine two people, like, you're telling your friend this and your friend agreeing. So the girl who passed away, she wanted to die. And they agreed that they both were going to do it. One bullet was meant for her, and she was going to shoot herself in the head, the one who killed her. But it didn't happen that way. I don't know what happened. Did she chicken out? And don't hate me for saying chicken out. Did she just choose not to do it? I'm happy she did it. It's like, don't take your life. But she shot her friend in the bed full of flowers. So it's like you have this thing of them trying to make it like what's the word? A beautiful outing. But shooting somebody right in their head is really gruesome. That's not pretty. That's not a pretty sight. Now, I'm not a Christian, but I got my beliefs on where people go. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. That's just what I believe, okay? I got a feeling where people go. It's sad. It's sad. Religion is like really weird, so don't hate me for saying that, but we all have our beliefs, okay? I do believe in the afterlife, but it's like, this just was a mess. So on that note, let's get into it. Young woman admits killing friend with hollow point headshot as part of Scrub's suicide pact. And that is 𝒂𝒂𝒚 𝑨𝒍𝒆𝒄. That is the girl, the victim. A young woman in Utah has accepted legal responsibility for shooting and killing her friend in an abortive suicide pact early this year. On Tuesday, Heavenly Faith Garfield, 22, pleaded guilty to one count of manslaughter under a provision that criminalizes aiding another person's intentional suicide, Utah County court records show. In an exchange for her guilty plea, prosecutors dismissed charges of murder in the first degree and discharge of a firearm. Those initial charges were filed over the late spring death of 𝒂𝒂𝒚 𝑨𝒍𝒆𝒄, 21, who the defendant shot in the head on the bed of flowers. Now, do I think she deserved the the other charges, first degree? Yes, I do. Okay, I do. Now, I don't think that, let me calm my voice down too, y'all. Sorry. I don't think that. I was about to say, I don't think that she meant anything by it, but you took a life. You still killed the girl. And it's just I feel like the whole thing is very, can you even say it's premeditated? It's like they planned this. It's very planned. I don't know. What do y'all think? I feel like, should she be charged with first degree murder? Yeah. The firearm, yeah, because it was her, they're going to talk about it was her dad's firearm. I still think she should be charged with it. She could have at least talked to her friend. When you have friends that are depressed, talk to them. Get them out. Go, like, relax. Go take a walk to the park, or, like, go eat good food. It's just so much that, like, as a friend, you should do that. What you can do if you're really a close friend. If that was my friend, I'm, like, gonna try my best. I'm gonna always stay on the phone just so I make sure she's okay, especially if I know she's, like, going through stuff. And especially if she tells me she wants to kill herself. First of all, I would, like, tell her family. I'm like, y'all need to watch out for her and get her some help, because it sounds like she's really going through stuff. So there was a lot of parts where she could have, like, stepped in and told her family so they can get her some help, because it sounded like she needed help. Realistically, it sounded like both of them needed help already, because shooting somebody on a bed of flowers is not pretty. It's not sentimental. It's actually more chilling, okay? On April 30th, police were called to the scene of a crime, a house on East Propeller Road in Saratoga Springs, a medium-sized city roughly 35 miles due south of Salt Lake City by the defendant's father. The 911 call was clear. The reporting party told dispatcher that the deceased individual had been shot and killed by his daughter. A probable cause statement reads, the caller stated that Garfield shot the deceased according to a suicide pact between her and the deceased, in which one party would fatally shoot the other and then herself. Responding officers found Barrett with alone and obvious gunshot wounds to the head. According to the court document, in that grim upstairs bedroom, the woman's body was covered with a blanket and there was flowers laid on the bed, law enforcement wrote. On the nightstand, officers found an unloaded Smith & Wesson's 9mm pistol. The magazine had been removed from the gun, and one telltale spent shell casing was found in the bed with Barrett. Another lone piece of ammunition was also proved key in the case. On May 2nd, Garfield's sister voluntarily provided investigators with the second bullet, this one, however, unspent. Her sister said that Garfield had given her the bullet and told her that it was the bullet she intended to use to shoot herself. The probable cause statement reads. Okay, and before we get to that part, geez, y'all, this is a heavy case already. It's like, the question is, I wonder why she chose to not do it, which I'm happy, like I said, I'm happy she didn't. Do not take your life. Maybe she saw that, like, she didn't want to go out that way after you do it to her, which is really weird and dark and grim and eerie. Like, cover her, like, just look. Now, you gotta picture this grim scene, because this is definitely grim. I feel like they're trying to make it, like, I'm not the victim and the suspect. They tried to make this way a bit, like, letting it be really pretty, but I'm pretty sure there was tears involved. Like, there was I would hope there's a lot of doubt involved, like, please don't do this, or, I don't want to do this. But you have flowers now covered in blood, because this is not Snow White. You got her with a blanket over her. This is not a Snow White picture, guys. This is more like, God, the grim tale of, like, the real grim tale of, like, Snow White, the murder. Because it's like, you have them cover her with, like, she covered her with a blanket. You got the bullet cased beside her. You got blood-soaked flowers. Like, this is not a pretty sight. So, and then she gave the bullet to her sister, so she said she didn't want to do it afterwards. Don't do it, good. But it's like, now you have to confess and talk about why you did this. Y'all, I personally still believe she should be charged with first-degree murder. You took somebody's child away, and that's a dark thing to do, especially when you know it's wrong. The same day, the defendant's father provided police with 2 boxes of ammunition, along with the receipt for the bullets, purchased from a tactical shop in town, according to the court document. He explained he had previously removed the ammunition from his daughter's 1999 white Suburban after she asked him to do so. The first box he produced contained 6 Sawyer 9mm Rhodes rounds. All rounds are still in the box, the statement goes. The second box contained Federal Premium Jacket hollow point rounds. There were 2 rounds missing from the second box. Investigators appeared to have marshaled several pieces of evidence to support the suicide pact theory of the tragic case. Found alongside Barrett was a note written and signed by Garfield and the deceased, in which both parties discussed their intention to die by suicide, according to the probable cause statement. A second friend of the deceased woman solidified the idea that she wanted to die and how exactly she had planned to die. Officers were later contacted by a friend of the deceased who had called dispatch and requested a welfare check of the deceased out of concern for her safety, the court document reads. The friend provided screenshots of several text messages between him and the deceased, deceased in which the deceased expressed suicide ideations. The friend also advises that he was aware of the suicide pact between the two, and specifically that the pact was the one party who would fatally shoot the other and then herself. Law enforcement also found photographs in which Garfield and Bear are seen together purchasing the firearm meant to kill them both. A GoFundMe for the slain woman's funeral expenses ongoing. Her obituary remembers her fondly in detail and does not shy away from the state of affairs leading up to her death. Brooklyn loves spending time with her parents and her family. She attended Harriman High School where she graduated in 2021. She loved traveling and going on vacations with her family. No matter her struggles, she smiled and laughed and always lit up the room. During a hearing on Tuesday, Bear's family agreed to the plea deal prosecutors told the judge overseeing the case. Garfield faces punishment of 1 to 15 years in a state prison and a fine in excess of $10,000. She is slated to be sentenced on November 6th. So we had another friend who knew about it, but thankfully that friend told, they asked for a welfare check. Dang, it's sad because, for the family, you be thinking, is there something else you could have done, especially when it's that bad? So you have them buying a gun together. This is why I say she should definitely be charged, because it's like, I don't, like I said, my view is very blunt on suicide, but it's like you aided to this death. You went with her to go buy it for both of you. And then, okay, did the sister not say something? Well, that was after, so I don't think they have anything to do with it. But it's like, this reminds me of that case, y'all know what I'm talking about, with the girlfriend that coerced or, told her she agreed with her boyfriend to kill himself, and he did. And she went to prison too, because they was like, you were the reason that he went through with it. It's sad, people be going through stuff, and then you got somebody that can't stop it. Now, I don't know. Now, it could be a case of both of them are depressed and they both want to go. But how does that conversation even come about? Why can't y'all just, why can't friends, when you have two friends that's like depressed, let's say if they were allegedly, why can't, talk it out? You guys have each other. Why go that route of pain? Because that's painful. The way they went out is painful. Now, it is interesting they chose a gun. That's very gruesome. Straight to the head, that's a hole in your head. That's very gruesome. So I think that's interesting. I just couldn't imagine doing that with a friend or doing that to a friend. And it's still weird that they put flowers on a bed. It's not I feel like they was going for a Snow White theme, and it don't work that way. Like I said, my views on, suicide is very blunt. I just don't think people should do it. It's like there's other ways to cope, and you gotta, it's hard to get out of it. I know it's not easy, but it's I don't know. That's just my views on it, y'all. It's just really scary. But she have friends, you have friends that try to check on you. But when it gets to that bad, you do not want, you should not be looking for somebody else to agree with you or to do that with you. Now, what if it's a theory? I got a theory, y'all. Is that what if the girl agreed to do this with her, but she was never planning on killing herself? I wonder why she did it, which don't do it, obviously. But I wonder why she, it's what came through her mind? Was it realization that I didn't want to die, didn't want to shoot her, or she just couldn't shoot herself, which is good. Don't do it. It's just... This is really interesting. And it's interesting in a weird way. What's the psychology? I think this is mental, definitely, because anybody who wants to leave, you don't know what it's like on the other side. It could be total opposite of what you think. But it's very sad that when it gets to that point, you don't want to be here. And the last thing you need when you're thinking like that is somebody agreeing with you. You do not want that. You do not need to be looking for somebody to agree with you with that situation. You should be looking to somebody who needs to get you away from that more positive thoughts and trying to move on. And they were adults, so that's also interesting. She graduated high school in 2021. So I keep thinking they're kids and they're not. They're adults. So I don't know. Is this a thing that she thought she couldn't talk to her family? Their family said she was happy. They thought, family never really knows much. But it's they were adults too. So that's also weird. I don't know why this whole thing, I keep thinking they're high schoolers. But no, they're adults. So that's really weird. Because now I'm really curious about what was the motive behind leaving this way. Her best friend or her friend, I don't know if they were best friends, but her friend shot her in the head on a bed of flowers in a botched, because it was a botched suicide attack. a suicide attack that turned into murder. I definitely think she should be charged. That's just what it is. That's the rules. You took a life. I don't know. I couldn't live with myself after that. That's why I say she should be charged, because I'm like, you can't live with yourself after that. That's a sad way to go. It's a gruesome way to go. This is not pretty. And I can say this so many times because I don't understand the flowers. Why does she have flowers on that bed? Flowers, blood, and a bullet. That's very dark what I just said, but that's exactly what that looked like, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Y'all stay safe. Stay alert, stay aware for this one. Stay safe, just stay aware. Notice signs of like people, of your friends and stuff. If you see somebody acting a certain way, talk to them. Take them out and about. Like, go experience life, go on a trip, do anything to get their mind away from like the negativity, because you just never know. It could have changed your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.